mean, this morning's focus was looking at BIM at the design planning phase of a project. And we're going to show a short video at the very end, which looks at kind of, I suppose, the very early use of BIM on the design project, which was used on one of the BIM storm presentations in the US. Because this is more, because we were aware of the execution process coming out, and we want to have a more pragmatic approach to this issue. This is why we invited Michael, and I think you'll see that we're now starting to see real traction in regard to BIM in Ireland with production of such protocols and execution plans. So the first question, local authority planners are making little use of BIM packages for their own needs, despite the obvious links between geospatial information, drawn data, and analytical reporting tools. Do you think it is time to reform the planning process by allowing for more dynamic integration of readily available master planning and BIM tools to allow for faster, inclusive, and informed decisions? So this is the first question. Secondly, do you see the newly proposed RIAI BIM execution plan defining a methodology for project teams to cooperate in a collaborative design environment to be the basis for the first steps in developing and agreeing national standards and protocols for the use of collaborative BIM in the Republic of Ireland? So it's a quick yes or no. And then what's important to us at CITA is what role could CITA facilitate in achieving these agreed standards and protocols? So this is sort of using CITA as a conduit, what could we do? And lastly, is it possible to integrate our established industry standard procedures, such as practice guidelines, agreed rules of measurement, national standard building elements, standard forms of building contracts, engineering contracts, with the use of BIM tools, or will it be necessary to make fundamental changes? Just saying. So we have established procedures here. Do we need to relook at those, or can we use them as they are and integrate them into this plan? So that's the challenge for the next 15 minutes or so. Okay? Thanks very much. Right. So the questions, there's a sheet on the table, and so if you want to nominate a report and the table, okay. Just before we start, if you just make sure that the sheets are left on the table. I know you might not have got up to all 4 questions, but Barry will collect them at the end, and then we'll be producing this report, you'll be able to capture a lot of what you discussed. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly at table 1 we didn't get past question 1 class possibly because I was there. So I don't think we're going to get around to table, but I might just pick table 6 because it's in my line of sight. If somebody from that table wants to run through as far as you got with the questions, maybe.
Thank you. For question 1, really we felt at the moment that there would be difficulties on the public side to receive information other than 2D information. At the moment, that most local authorities would scan 2D planning files and then upload them onto the internet for access to the general public. We feel that a model would give huge benefits both to the general public and councillors to visualise what's being proposed. Additionally, from conservation data point of view, there's a lot of conditions enforced on consultants to record dimensions and layouts of historic and protected structures, but typically that information is lost, where if there was a process that could be uploaded again to a public file. Ultimately we felt that if we create that, the local authorities would start a fully integrated model, either of a town or a city, and that the information could be loaded up onto that model as a fully integrated model, similar to what has been done in Manchester. For question 2, regarding the methodology of accepting the BIM execution plan, we feel yes, that it should be adopted. Question 3, from a CITA point of view, we actually didn't get around to answering that question. We thought that would be really difficult. Question 4, is it possible to easily integrate the current standards, agreed rule of measurement we felt yes, it should be integrated, but how easily that would be done is questionable. We feel that there would be major stumbling blocks to redefine those rules and contracts and standard forms.
And just on question 2, and I suppose question 4 is yes the answer everywhere? Is there any dissenting voices in the room on question 2 or question 4?
Just something on question. Oh, sorry. On question 4, it could be no, and it could be no that it won't be easy because there are so many diverse in-house techniques that have to be moulded. Because we're all talking about it as a standard approach, but at present we have such a diverse range of in-house techniques that I don't think it's going to be easy. That's my views. Not quite the tables, really, but I'm sure we'll be yeses at the table as well.
Are there any other no's out there? 2 over there.
I would say just a lot of the standards, like take the agreed rules of measurement, for instance. I mean, they're not designed around BIM and accurate computable data. The agreed rules of measurement doesn't have a coding system, for instance. You know, the coding system is based on the page number, and every project has a different page number. So, you know, things like that will have to be looked at in terms of BIM is all about computable data and standardized coding systems. Also my view would be that we, as a country, start looking at global merging standards rather than developing very Irish-specific standards that don't allow us to work in a global market. My view would be we have to rethink all those things that come out of the analog, paper-based, problematic, cumbersome system.
Maybe we should have included the capital works management framework in that list. Maybe you'll be aware of it. And in that framework, the national standard building elements are actually embedded into it. And it's how the government requires the cost plans and bills of quantities to be produced. So, you know, I don't see that disappearing soon.
Just one observation
Yes.
on what Rob said. With regard to the agreed rules of measurement, the numbering system isn't very good at present. But whether using BIM or not, it will still have to be updated because it's still not friendly in terms of using other computers anyway. So that's just the point. Anyone who's trying to use computers and the agreed rules of measurement has generally had to develop their own coding system. So this would still have to happen whether we use BIM or not. And anyone progressing forward would do it.
So thank you very much. The point is we should try to follow international coding systems rather than come up with, reinventing it and stuff like that.
Was there anybody else at table 5 that had anything to say on questions 2 or 4 there? Yep. Sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, just on question 4, Ralph basically said that we were going to say it should have an international focus. So we sort of answered yes and no. There's really 2 parts to that question. First one, is it possible to integrate? And yes, it is. Is it easy? No. And I think yes, we need to have an international focus on it. Most people will be involved in BIM. We'll probably be doing it on projects with some international focus over the next few years, so the standards do need to reflect that. Just in terms of question 3, the role of CITA. We did see CITA's role in terms of education has been very important in educating people in the use of the standards and the protocols, and probably establishing people through the project management courses in terms of that role of the BIM project coordinator. So we feel that's quite important. And also, one thing this country is missing, and one thing the UK did get, was the government advisor role on BIM, which was very important in pushing through the government strategy. And I think if CITA could try somehow to get that sort of role where they're sort of advising government in the direction they should be going on BIM, we thought that could be quite important. And basically, CITA, the role it's doing at the moment, being a sort of an umbrella organisation to the various industry organisations out there, like we were, so we can get that sort of cross-party agreement on the standards and protocols.
I think that the good practice group in the RAI need to be commended. Michael, Rav, Pat and others Bernard, sorry. I mean, this is a significant milestone for Ireland to have such a document now in the semi-public arena going around various institutes. This is a significant message and step, I think, in the move towards a more collaborative sector. And I think, looking at question 3, what's going to become critically important to the industry as we move forward is to have a qualification in the BIM space, to have in the collaborative space. Because, for example, when you're applying to bid for government forms of contract, you have to place in there your qualifications. You're a chartered architect, you're a chartered engineer, you're a chartered surveyor. You have to need to be a chartered collaborator using BIM. And I think, you know, something like the CITA Masters, something like the DIT Level 8 BIM qualification is going to be critically important to people who want to work in this space in the future. And just to probably take that point across. Okay, so
On the execution plan, does anybody
Yes.
else have any particular comments or questions on that? I might ask Michael if there's any specific questions that came out of the discussion that you didn't cover in the Q&A. Or does anybody, any other table have any comments on question 2 there? Table 8, like I said, I think movement. No. Yeah.
okay.
I think table 8 might have
Is there
some.
a comment for question table 8?
Just in favour of question 4. It wasn't the same as the rest. It won't be easy to integrate. But is it possible to be? Sorry, thank you very much. It won't be easy to integrate, but we want to see change. We see more an adaptation rather than change. That's question 4. Question, what role can CITA facilitate? Question 3. Continuing the present role and encouraging discussion and development. On question 2, the answer was yes. Do you see the newly proposed Earley? And local authority planners question 1. The answer is yes, but if our planners will probably be pushed by the industry rather than me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Certainly there's a discussion at my table just about the value in that BIM could provide in master planning and in providing certainty and the importance of that in the planning process. And also its role in communication and facilitating consultation and community participation and stuff like that. I'm just wondering, does anybody else have anything in particular to say on question 1 while I'm here? and I might feed it back, because certainly I do think there's an onus on us as an institute to highlight the technological developments that are coming down the line, and to make sure that these are going to happen, and you know, I will look at sort of conveying best practice elsewhere and developments elsewhere, the Manchester example and stuff like that happened in Chicago as well, and seeing how the planning profession can start driving that as opposed to have it being forced upon us, maybe. Yeah. Anybody else have?
Just again, we did think that the local authorities and the planners generally could drive this rather than wait for the industry to react. I mean, if the development plans were provided in a format that was suitable for BIM, either in three-dimensional or not, it would help the industry to move forward and to be able to feed into that information. We also got, just in terms of how BIM can help in terms of urban design, I mean, reference was made to Bernard's excellent presentation last month, where you can see just how well BIM can inform the urban design plan exercise.
Unless anybody else has anything that they want to get off their chest, we might move on to the next part of this morning.